Confirmation at last that Madonna and Guy Ritchie are now man and wife. The couple, who celebrated the christening of their son Rocco the day before, tied the knot at exclusive Skibo Castle. Throughout the day, a fleet of Range Rovers brought the rich and famous to this Highland hideaway for the wedding of the year. The Reverend Susan Brown performed the ceremony and is known to have concentrated in her address on the importance of marriage as a lifelong commitment. Inside the castle, after the ceremony, guests enjoyed a wedding feast in the Great Hall and then danced the night away with the traditional Highland knees up. For the media waiting outside, it's been a long wait to hear that the couple have indeed tied the knot.
Dornoch Cathedral, where the couple had their son Rocco baptised on Thursday evening.
Madonna and her film director fiancé Guy Ritchie left Dornoch Cathedral last night all smiles after having their son baptised. The ceremony in the centre of the small Highland town had been attended by a host of celebrities, including actress Gwyneth Paltrow and pop star Sting. However, less than an hour after the stars had left, a man was discovered inside the cathedral. He was arrested and taken to the local police station, where a senior officer explained that the police had not been responsible for security inside the church.
Madonna had her own staff, her own private security people, who were responsible for the precincts of the church, inside the church and the grounds of the church. You'll understand that the policing operation as a whole was down to the police, but that was for the areas out with the church and so on, the public areas.
Police say a 51-year-old unemployed man from the south of England is expected to appear from custody at Dornoch Sheriff Court later today. It's not known if the star and her entourage were aware of the man's presence during the service, but today it's likely any thoughts of any trouble will be cast aside as Madonna weds Guy Ritchie amidst the secluded setting of Skibo Castle. Carol Jones, BBC News, Dornoch.
Pop star Madonna's marriage to the British film director Guy Ritchie. The couple christened their 4-month-old son Rocco on Thursday. Hundreds of reporters and photographers are outside Skibo Castle, where the wedding is taking place, hoping to catch a glimpse of the happy couple.
The baptism of baby Rocco was always intended to be the more public side of this week's double ceremony. Madonna and Guy Ritchie left Dornoch Cathedral before the world's press and hundreds of enthusiastic fans. They drove away to Skibo Castle, where today's wedding will be conducted before friends and family only. It's the ultimate in fairy tale castles. Built by the Scottish-born American steel magnate and philanthropist Andrew Carnegie in 1898, Skibo's always been used as a place where the rich and famous have entertained and have been entertained. Its vast size and welcoming atmosphere are fondly remembered by one of Andrew Carnegie's great-grandsons who lived there when he was a boy.
It was wonderful to be a child there because you were completely free. There was the grounds round about which you could roam around in, and if it was wet, well, we played around in the castle, usually on the top floor, which was largely unoccupied. You could run around and hide, and it was just tremendous.
Back in neighbouring Dornoch, a minor disturbance. 2 men have been arrested, it's thought, for breaches of security. One was discovered in Dornoch Cathedral, although it's now not thought that last night's baptism ceremony was disturbed. Meanwhile, the town continued its own nuptial celebrations. Today's wedding might be in private, but Dornoch is now into the groove.
Well, we wish her a wonderful Highland wedding in the best possible form, and we may even try to get a piece of our wedding cake under her pillow, because I believe she and her husband might be sleeping in Andrew Carnegie's bedroom at Skibo Castle.
Rosie Millard, BBC News.
Firmly under wraps. The romantic setting is the luxurious Skibo Castle in the Highlands. Outside, hundreds of journalists are, in more senses than one, in the dark.
The morning after the night before, and the Reverend Susan Brown cleans up following baby Rocco's christening. Madonna and Guy Ritchie were all smiles as they left Dornoch Cathedral for Skibo Castle. This exclusive retreat for the rich and famous is now the focus of attention as the world's media, camped outside the heavily guarded gates, tries to capture what it can of Madonna's very private Highland wedding. Sting, who sang at the christening last night, was one of the first guests to arrive. But any overzealous member of the paparazzi who tried to get closer to the action was sent packing, much to the amusement of his colleagues. Back at the cathedral, Cathedral, the minister kept her mind off the wedding by conducting a carol service, but admitted both she and the celebrity couple might have last-minute jitters.
It would be a very unusual couple if the, either party didn't have a turn of nerves before the event. I get nervous before every service. I mean, I think half the congregation wouldn't believe that, but I do.
More arrivals at Skibo, this time fashion designer Donatella Versace, fueling speculation about the bride's dress.
We don't know exactly what Madonna's dress is going to feature, but I'm told it may have a Union Jack or a American flag motif on the band. I mean, there's also a rumour that she's going to wear diamond-studded cowboy boots, which obviously fits in with her album artwork.
The celebration in Skibo Castle is a lavish affair with a host of hand-picked guests enjoying a wedding feast, followed by a traditional Highland knees-up. Carol Jones, BBC News, Skibo Castle.
Our correspondent David Sillito is at Skibo Castle.
We can't really imagine that it's lasted this long. But what do we know? Let's take you in a bit closer, because these are the rather dejected-looking photographers who've managed to get, well, almost no shots at all today. And this is the entrance to Skibo Castle. We have a few well-wishers here. And this is as far as we can go before, well, we're not going to go any further than this tonight, I don't think. And inside there is Skibo, and we've seen neither hide nor hair of anyone at all. We are expecting maybe later on there to be some form of fireworks, but for the world's media, who've been camped out here for the last 24 hours or so, well, you can just see from the faces around here, Madonna and Guy Ritchie have got married in private. And would you believe that in the world of the media?
David Sillito, that's a wonderfully long way of saying that we don't know anything at all about what's going on. Is that right?
Well, that's the best way of putting it. I can't really say anything more than that. We've got some little nuggets, possibly. Maybe that Stella McCartney designed the dress, though that's not confirmed. And maybe that Guy Ritchie was getting married in a kilt. And we've got some idea it might have what colours that kilt might be. But until we see the photographs, until we have any idea, really, this is a private wedding that she's actually managed to pull off despite the scrutiny. There have been dozens of cameramen breaking in, going over the wall throughout today, trying in the cover, trying to get these shots, and they've all been thrown out one after another, bringing them back here. So I don't know. I've been talking to the main newspapers tomorrow, especially The Sun, Britain's biggest tabloid, and they say they haven't got a photograph, and I know they've had more than a dozen people on this case.